I swear to you, I'm in pain. I hate this video. I actually cannot do it. It's hurting me physically and emotionally. Are you joking? No, no, no. Have I mentioned how much I hate this video? I think I found the hardest question of all time. This is so hard for me. You have no idea. It's the first time I'm happy a video is over because I cannot do this anymore. Hi everyone, welcome to a new video. Thank you all so much for being here and for joining me today. Let's just say I'm scared. I'm not even sure why we are doing this video. I asked my patrons, wouldn't it be fun if I did a different video, maybe an assumptions about me or a bookish would you rather? And they voted for this one and I'm kind of regretting my decision. I mean, not really, but in case you don't know, I am probably the most indecisive person you will ever meet in your life. I can never decide between two things, three things, especially things that I absolutely adore. So this video will basically be a let's torture Mary for fun. I mean, I did my best to not look at the questions you sent me, but I'm very curious and I'm very scared. So let's just jump right into it and answer all of these. Hopefully, I hope I didn't miss any. Of course, I will try my best to get to all of them, but if you have any more questions that you'd like me to answer, then let me know in the comments, and please do let me know your answers to these as well if these are things that you also struggled with. So I basically asked you to send me any bookish would you rather questions. They could be about anything as long as they are slightly related to books or reading. So let's see how creative and how mean you were. I will try my best to answer this quickly, but just letting you know, I will fail at that. I will have to cut so much out of this video because it will just be minutes of me struggling and nobody needs to see that. So let's just go. Let's just go. Lose a book you'd borrowed or have a book you lent lost. That's kind of easy because I usually do not let people borrow my books. So I guess I would say have a book you lent lost because one, that would never happen probably, and two, because I really hate losing or damaging anything that people let me borrow, which is also why I usually never borrow things from other people either. Meet Aragorn or Tolkien. Meet Aragorn. Okay, moving on. Live in a Tolkien book or a Juliet Marillier book. No. Oh no, no. No! Why would you do that? Oh no. I would die in a Tolkien book, probably. I would die in Middle-earth so easily with everything going on. But in Juliet Marillier, you can find some very mean people that appear to be nice, but they're really not. And there are also all of these powerful creatures that are only there to harm you. But so are they in Tolkien's world. Oh my god, I guess I would have to say a Tolkien book just to live in the Shire peacefully with my hobbit friends, I guess. I don't know. Oh my god. Only read your favorite author's books or only your favorite genre. I guess I would have to go with genre because, well, I have multiple favorite authors, I have multiple favorite genres, but I think I would have a lot more books to read if I picked a genre over than an author, but it still pains me. But yes, I guess I have to go with that one. Read a book with the first 2 pages ripped out or the last 2. Not the last 2 for sure, that would kill me absolutely. So I guess if I really have to choose, I guess I would say the first 2 pages, but it still pains me. Only UK/US classics or only translated classics? Oh my god, that's a very good question. Do you mean the whole UK? I guess, oh no, I don't. Okay, I guess I would have to say translated classics. Yeah, let's go with that one. Let's go with that one. I think if it comes down to that, then I would have to pick translated classics because only UK and US sounds very limiting, and I do want to read from everywhere in the world. So I hate this question. Olivia, why? So yes, let's go with translated classics. This is so hard for me. You have no idea. Making decisions is one of my worst qualities because I can't do it. Would you rather secretly love a book everyone hates or secretly hate a book everyone loves? I guess maybe secretly love a book everyone hates, because that's more fun. I would always rather love something that hates something, so there you go. Have the opportunity to go back in time and talk with Tolkien, or be able to jump into the Lord of the Rings world? Okay, like, you know, I'm not sure. Is it bad to say I'm not sure? Because I'm basically picking between the man who invented it all, or being in his world. No, now that I put it like that, I think I would rather meet Tolkien and talk to him. Like, how did he come up with all of this world? And talk a little bit about also his personal experience, how he showed this world to his kids and how they handled that, how was the experience for the family. And it would also be fascinating to see how his experience during war inspired him to create The Lord of the Rings, which I always found such an inspiring thing to do. Plus he was, he is, such an inspiration for me now, and he's definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, I would love to meet Tolkien. So yes, I'll go with that one. I would love to meet him one day. Can you imagine? It would be such a fascinating conversation, I think. So yes, let's go with that one. But this shouldn't be this hard. A no plot, just vibes book, or a book with love at first sight. Now, see, this depends on the type of book, because if we are talking about fairy tales or fairy tale-ish, like inspired books, it is very often that we will have a love at first sight situation, and that will not bother me, and I do love fairy tales and everything that's inspired by them. So, but then again, if it's not on that context, then I will probably not like it. So I guess a no plot, just vibes book, because usually I like those anyway. If the characters are interesting, then I will probably enjoy the book, even if the plot is not as strong. So yes. Face. I'm loving all of these Lord of the Rings questions. There's a theme here. So basically, Sarah, you're asking me if I'd like to face a giant dragon or carry something that might kill me along the way to save the world. First of all, I'm terrified of fire, so I would die immediately, because I would look at smoke and think, yep, I'm done. Plus, if I carry the One Ring, yes, it is very dangerous and it is scary, and I probably would not be brave enough to do it. But if I had to pick one, it would be, yeah, to carry the ring, because I would have all of my hobbit friends there supporting me, right? Clean, clean looking. I can't. Clean looking nice man or dirty looking player in romance. This is Malena making fun of my taste in men. Here's a sample. It's the heart that matters, but usually I do like when they have like a bit of a rougher aspect on the outside. It's hard to explain. So no, I don't like players. That's always a no-no for me. So I guess a dirty looking nice man. Can I mix them? No? Okay, no. If I had to pick one in these conditions, then I would say clean looking nice man. Would you rather have a favorite story continue on indefinitely as a series, or be known it will finish up in as a duology or trilogy? This is interesting because I guess the first instinct that I would have is to try and spend as much time with this favorite story as possible, with lots of books, because that would mean we would have more time with those characters and that world. But I'm also a firm believer that stories should not drag. No matter how much you love them, no matter how profitable they might be, a story needs to have an ending, and it needs to know when it should end. So I would definitely go for the duology or trilogy, hoping that the ending is a good one, because obviously you also could have the opposite problem where it is too short of a series. But usually I do like them to finish, even if it hurts me. I have the same type of thinking when it comes to movies or TV shows. I don't like it when they start dragging and you can feel there's no plot left, there's no history left to tell, so I'd rather they just end it. So yes, I would say duology or trilogy, and then we can always reread them, which is lovely. Would you rather go on a Harry Potter themed trip to Scotland or a Lord of the Rings themed trip to New Zealand? I'm loving the Lord of the Rings theme. You all know me too well. And it's funny because if you had asked me this question, let's say maybe 3-4 years ago, I would tell you this is the hardest thing I would have to pick between. But recently I just fell so much in love with the Lord of the Rings series that I would actually love to go on a themed trip inspired by it more. Harry Potter has always been part of my childhood, and unfortunately, due to some things that the author has said, I have become less invested in the series. It will always have a special place in my heart. I will not pretend I don't love it, because I do. I know it has its issues and flaws, of course. We will not go into that here, but yes, I do love Harry Potter, but recently I have become less invested in it, let's say. So yes, let's go to New Zealand. Let's all go, you know? Would you rather only be able to reread your favorites for the rest of your life, or never read your favorites again, but be able to read new books and make new favorites from there? As much as it pains me to never read my favorites again, I will always prefer to have new favorites rather than keep rereading the same things no matter how much I love them, because, well, first of all, because that's not exciting, right? You're not discovering new stories, and I love finding out new favorites, or not favorites even. I just love reading new things, discovering new authors. And then I would also get tired of my favorites eventually if I keep rereading them. I think if that was my only option, then I don't think I would take it. So let's say finding new favorites, because that's always wonderful. No, no, no. I can't. No. I hate this video. I think I found the hardest question of all time. No. Would you rather be a beautiful fairy surrounded by nature and magic, or a gothic powerful witch in a never-ending Halloween world? I can't do this. This is my whole dream. This is my whole personality, is to be both things. I can't. Why do you hate me? Oh no. I actually cannot do it. It's hurting me physically and emotionally. No. A beautiful fairy surrounded by nature and magic, or a gothic powerful witch in a never-ending Halloween world. I don't know. Oh no. Can I skip this one? Can I skip one question? Because it should be this one. I mean, I don't know. We still have a lot to go, but no, oh no, I can't. I literally cannot answer this. Okay, I guess. Oh, okay, due to my recent love for J.R. Tolkien and Juliet Marillier, I guess I would go with the fairy. But let's forget about this question, because I want to pick both of them, so let's move on. It's hurting me. Let's move on. Would you rather have to skip the first book in a series or the last book in a series? Are you joking? None of them. What? The first, or I know this should be easy, right? You shouldn't skip the last book, but then what do? Do you read the middle books without knowing anything that happened first? I hate that. No, you know what? I think I'm gonna pick... no. Why is this suddenly getting much harder? I don't get it. I was doing so well, wasn't I? Would you rather have to skip the first book or the last book? I think I'm gonna go with the last book, because I just love the setting. I love getting to know the setting and the characters and the world building and the atmosphere. I love all of that. But I would also love to know the ending. Okay, let's skip the last book. Do not overthink this. Would you rather only read fantasy for the rest of your life, or only read classics? I hate this video. I hate this video. I hate this video. Only fantasy or only classics? Two of my favorites. Probably my favorites, period. Okay, I'm gonna try and manipulate this question. So when you say classics, do you mean really old classics? But that includes fairy tales. You know what? Let's assume you only mean, like, I would only have to give up much older classics. And this way, I could read both classics and fantasy, right? Because I would only be giving up, like, the really old classics. I'm totally cheating. I am totally cheating. But not really, because what do you mean classics? That's so vague. Do you mean like Shakespeare? Because I would live with that, I think. Okay, I would only read fantasy, that's it. Okay, moving on, I hate this. Would you rather read a book about love triangles or read books without any romance at all? I'm definitely picking books with no romance at all, which is kind of sad because I do like romance. I do like when romance is part of the story, but if it comes to either that or love triangles, then definitely no romance at all. Would you rather listen to or play music or read books for the rest of your life? I think that's a tough one. I swear to you, I'm in pain. Have I mentioned how much I hate this video? Music or books? So again, you are talking about my whole personality. If I had to give up something major about myself, what would it be? That's great. That's such an easy question. What do you mean it's a tough one? I don't want to choose. 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 I have to choose. I'm not sure if this will be surprising or not. I can't. Okay, I choose both. Let's be clear. I choose both. But for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna have to go with music because it was my first love. Music has always been part of me ever since I was a kid. If you know the song Thank You for the Music by ABBA, that's like exactly how I feel about music. Like, thank you for being here. Thank you to whoever invented music for the first time, because life would be absolutely meaningless without it. I don't think anything can come close to what music does in terms of emotion. So I'm gonna have to pick music, but oh my god, I would never give up books, ever. I hate this question. Which era would you like to go back to, and which author would you meet from that specific era? That's a very hard question. This is more difficult than I thought it would be, but I think, yeah, I'm gonna pick the first one. But it's so hard though, because there are so many fantastic authors that I would love to meet from the 1900s. 1900s? Is that how you say that? But yeah, just, you know, I'm looking at the list and you have Charles Dickens, Edgar Allan Poe, Walt Whitman, the Bronte sisters, Louisa May Alcott, George Eliot, Jane Austen, Lewis Carroll, Elizabeth Gaskell, Thomas Hardy, Mary Shelley, and so on. I would love to meet all of these people. And so many others as well. This is difficult. This is so difficult. Would you rather only read books that are over 500 pages or only read books that are under 300? I guess this one isn't as hard. I thought it would be harder, but now that I think about it, I do tend to love big books. So it would be hard because I'm a very slow reader. But if I had to choose one of these, I guess I would go with over 500 pages. There are so many incredible classics and fantasy series that are over 500 pages. I can imagine a lot of my favorites like that. But then again, of course, I also have favorites that are shorter. But if I really had to pick one, I guess I would go with big books. But I don't know. Yeah, let's go with that one. If you had to sacrifice either gaming or books, which one would you pick? Boy, why? I thought we had a good relationship here, you know? I thought we went along pretty well, and now you ask me this, and I'm not so sure. Oh God, I hate this. I hate this. Gaming is such a recent passion of mine. I mean, that's true and not true at the same time, because I did used to game a lot when I was a kid. I used to play with my brother and some of my friends as well. Obviously, those games that were more appropriate for kids. We didn't exactly play the ones that I play now, but I always loved it. We played on our PlayStation 2 mostly, and the computer, of course, because I played The Sims every single day. So I've always loved gaming, but I guess books were always there as well, and if I really had to pick one, I have to go with books, because it is truly such a huge love of mine, and it's such a big part of me, obviously. But so is gaming. Like, again, I did not want to pick between these two. I love gaming so much. Games have provided me with some of my favorite stories of all time that will now get adapted, and I can't believe it. I'm so excited. I cannot even breathe. Like, I cannot wait for the Last of Us series, for instance. I cannot wait. It's one of my favorite stories. But like, books books, words, written words, all the beauty that come with them, and they've always been there for me as well, for the worst parts of my life. So yeah, books. I adore books with my entire soul, even though I also love games. So why do you do this? Okay, I think we are getting to the end of this video, which I'm kind of glad, because this is very hard. What was I thinking when I planned this video? I don't know. Okay, would you rather only read in Portuguese or only in English for the rest of your life? They also said that it might seem obvious since I read mostly in English, but if I had to completely give up Portuguese language, would I be able to do it? If I had to completely strip Portuguese from my eyes and ears, could I do it? And the simple answer is no. I couldn't. Portuguese is a beautiful language, and it's one of my favorites, really. I love that I'm able to speak it, obviously, because it is beautiful. We have a few words that cannot even be translated in other languages. They don't exist, and those are some of my favorite words ever. Our music as well is so deeply emotional and intense, precisely because of our language. So and that's true, despite the fact that I do read mostly in English because a lot of books are translated, or because I do like to read the books in their original language as much as I can, of course. Portuguese is just, I cannot live without it. And not only because it is my main language, but also because I'm genuinely in love with Portuguese. It's beautiful. And don't get me wrong, English is beautiful as well. I find all languages beautiful. I would speak all languages if I could. I would love to learn all of them. But if the question is pick between English and Portuguese, I have to go with Portuguese. And yes, I'm not sure if that's surprising. Let me know if it was, but again, I would rather not pick. Would you rather be able to read classics or only be able to read new releases, including books such as poetry or graphic novels? Only classics or only new releases? Again, which type of classics are we talking about? If I had to get rid of one of these, I can't believe I'm gonna say this because I barely ever read new releases. But that's also not true, because there are so many amazing books that are quite recent, actually. So if you're talking like those older classics, then sure, I would pick new releases, because we are always getting new stories, like every single year, every single day, and to miss the opportunity to read those, like, can you imagine all the fantasy sequels that I would miss out on? Like, no. But I do love classics is one of my favorite type of books to read, obviously. I'm guessing you all know that. That's why you are torturing me with these questions. But I guess, like, I would never, I don't think I would give up the opportunity to read new books just to keep reading some older ones, although I love doing that. But then again, it depends on what you consider a classic, you know? Maybe the modern classics do not apply to this, so I could read them as well. But yeah, so if I had to pick one, I guess it would have to be new releases. I can't believe I'm saying this, but it makes sense in my head. No matter how much I adore classics, it just makes sense. But I'm not entirely sure. I'm not confident with my answer, but I hope it makes sense. If going on a literary tour in England, would you rather go with a tour group or make your own? And what would they look like, either of them? I would rather... If you mean like a tour group, like those guided tours, when you have to join a specific group of people you don't necessarily know and have a guided tour, then I would definitely prefer to go alone. I don't know exactly what it would look like because I would have to plan like all the places that I would like to visit. I would for sure love to visit some places like where authors were born or studied or started writing their first novels, and I would love to visit those specific places that meant something to the authors. Of course, I would also visit every single bookstore that I could. But if you mean like going with a group of friends, then surely go with friends. It's so much fun. Although I do love taking myself out sometimes and going to places on my own. That's very exciting. I do that quite often actually, but if I had the opportunity to go on a trip to England and meet some of my friends there and we could all gush about books and literature, that would be perfect. So, and finally, I think, would you rather give up your amazing book collection or your beautiful mug collection? Kim? I would rather skip this one, please, thank you. It's the last one and I feel like I can't breathe. A lot of hard decisions were made today. You know, okay, no, none of them? No, why? Oh my god. Okay, I'm trying to find some type of logic to this because it's the only way I'm gonna get through this question. Think with me, yes? Okay, so obviously I do not want to get rid of any of them. Like, I love my books, I love my mugs. However, you have to think it like this. Which one of those collections would be harder to replace or to have again? Like, in my head, I could easily, well, not easily, because it would take a lot of time and a lot of money, and obviously it would be painful to suddenly not have all of these books, but I could replace them. Like, it's not hard to find these editions or these books anywhere. Some of them obviously might be harder, like I have some rare editions of kind of classics and other rare books. Okay, but still, it would be easier to replace this collection than my mug collection. A few of those mugs do not even exist anymore. Others I got in very specific occasions that will also not happen anymore, and they're truly very hard to find if possible. A few of them not so much. Of course, you can find them easily online or in stores, but most of them, I would say, are very unique and I would not be able to get them again. And yes, I am very deeply invested in my mug collection. That's probably a bit weird for some people, but I think mugs are such a beautiful form of art, and they're obviously a companion to me when I'm reading. They're always there for me. As you can see, like, can you look at this bell mug? Isn't it beautiful? It is. I'm always drinking something on my mugs, but then again, all these books, like, this is probably the other hardest question of them all. All of them were hard, most of them at least, but oh my gosh, this is awful. This is awful. I think it hurts me a lot, but I think I would have to go with my book collection just because I could buy these books again. Like, either in the same edition or other editions, I could find them. But obviously, I'm glad this will not come true, because I want to keep my books, please. Let them I love them so much. I do not want to be separated from them, ever. Like, I adore them. Plus, a lot of these were gifts. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. A lot of them were gifts, and they have the little cute notes. No. I genuinely cannot answer this. Oh my gosh, no. Okay, you know what? After all of that, I'm gonna say I'm gonna get rid of my mug collection. No, but I'm sorry. But like, books. There were some very difficult questions here. And my conclusion is, you all know me too well. And I love that. That's kind of sweet. It's sweet that you're all torturing me because you know how to do it. That's so fun. Okay, let's get rid of the mugs and never think about that again. Okay, I get to keep them. Yay! And the books, of course. I would never get rid of any of them. Anyway, okay, that's the end of this video. It's the first time I'm happy a video is over because I cannot do this anymore. Now it's your turn. Please pick 3 of these questions that I answered and answer them yourselves. And they have to be hard for you. You cannot pick easy ones. So I don't know which ones those would be for you, but pick 3 hard questions for you and let me know the answers. Please, I would love to know that. But yes, I'm glad this is over. It was fun, I guess, but also very painful. Mostly very painful. Oh my gosh, I need some tea. Okay, all better now. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video, and to everyone who sent me any questions, of course, thank you so much for being part of this video. If you'd like me to do any other type of fun bookish videos, let me know. They can have this format as well. They can be would you rather or any other ideas that you might have, just let me know. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wait a while before I film another of these ones because they're very hard for me. You have no idea how much it pains me to make this type of decision. I just cannot do it. But yeah, I'm glad it's done. But I will of course speak to you all very soon. So until that happens, I am sending you lots of love, all the hugs, and I'll speak to you very soon on my next video. Bye everyone.